Oh, hello, Igor-san.
Yosh! A velvet room!
You can't speak Japanese that well. Well, at least you can't really
It's been quite
sound like
some time.
Japanese. But close enough. It seems you've been summoned to the Velvet Room.
Saki-sama me!
Anyway.
Fast asleep in the real world.
Oh.
I have summoned you.
It just amazes me how they're able to do that.
Anytime, anywhere. They need you.
Far.
To the Velvet Room you go.
You'll be able to successfully solve this mystery.
Well,
Well,
to be honest, I don't know. If I said I can solve it, that means I'm way too confident.
With this being the very hour of your ordeal,
And overconfidence
it may
can
not
lead
be so
to
easily overcome.
my death.
The precise destination
or
of this
could lead
vehicle,
to a great failing that you
too is
cannot
getting
take
rather
back.
hard to judge.
And besides,
If
my
we
response
continue
was actually fitting with
driving
his current statement right here.
blindly, We may end up leading you further away from the mystery that you must reach. Well, why don't we take a moment to look back on your journey?
Okay.
It was for that
The journey of the
purpose
fool that
summoned
I
you
am
tonight.
here? Let me think.
Margaret?
Well, why not?
Igor, I regret nothing.
Phew! Voice you've heard many times before echoed your mind. In short, voice quotes. And voice clips, too.
Really getting it is totally different. I mean,
I hear
really finding
voices
yourself.
in my head. They counsel me. They
trying not to
understand.
think
They
about it
talk to
all this
me.
time. But I
What can I
feel
say?
like I
I'm
can
waxing
face reality.
lyrical, and I'm in a good mood.
You're
I
the
know,
only
so am
one
I.
who didn't pay attention to the rumors flying around.
I blame
about
all
me.
the
Insomnia
Pokemans.
by hand.
Yeah, we both bought the new,
I can't
the
ignore
new,
that
the new
fact
Pokemon
any
games.
longer. I need to face the truth.
And we know that if we start talking about this part,
What's
any
right?
relevancy will
What
be
you should
gone.
choose to do
So
in life.
we will stop.
The answers
Right
to
there.
those things lie within you.
It's been fun though.
Yeah, quite.
You gave me the opportunity to start walking.
Well,
I'm
you gotta
going to
stand
think about my
tall
life and set my
somehow.
own path.
Mm-hmm.
I know someone with no legs who
I'm
does
scared.
perfectly that.
Quite.
I've learned my lesson now. I won't just try and escape into my own personal time.
But I do that all the no.
We are experiencing the words engraved
Awkward.
into your memory during
And
your journey.
in Golden, you actually hear Naoto's words
Go
as
ahead
well.
and think this through as much as we need.
Huh?
We leave any unanswered
They left it
questions
out?
behind.
In this
Just
version,
We lie to
yeah.
ourselves.
I'll think as hard as I can and try to help.
Yes, considering that we finally
Come on,
realized
we've
that
accomplished
well,
this much together,
we're
haven't
kind
we?
of going in, too brashly.
Right.
Too
Together.
brashly, without thinking.
And as Igor is about to suggest,
And it seems
we
you
should
have
take our time.
comrades with you as well.
Though,
Those heading
then
in the same
again, it
direction
could
through this
also
dense
be the
fog.
fact that maybe the reason why they exclude Naoto other than the fact that Naoto was actually supposed to show up earlier in the game,
Who knows?
originally intended. But
We'll
they
depart
pushed
for
her
the
back.
moment while I confirm our current heading.
Okay.
As I mentioned previously,
Though,
this
then
year
again,
will
she
signal a
might
great
be also
change in your
pursuing the
life.
truth and kind
Though
of realizing
there
that we
isn't much
kind
time
of went
left,
too far.
it can be worth your while to take the time to stop and
In short, we need to think things through
People are like water
calmly
flowing in a river.
and smoothly.
There is only one stream, but all who pass through it are affected differently.
Which means...
Some travel fast. Some change their course.
This is just a
Experiencing
metaphor,
countless
isn't it?
events
It
as they
more or less
travel down
is.
the river
A
of
metaphor
time.
which I don't get.
just
I do get
The
it,
state of
just
this room
I'm not sure if
reflects
it's
the
as
seal
relevant
of
as
your
they
heart.
think it is.
Perhaps this may be a time for
Maybe it's rather
contemplation
pretentious.
rather than action.
I agree, Igor. Huh? What the? You hear somebody in the distance.
Breakfast is ready!
Oh, wait. No, wait. She's not home. No one is. December 4th. Sunday. It seems you've been sleeping until now. In fact, in the animation, you is asleep in the living room, and his phone has all those messages. If I may have already unless I mentioned that earlier. Oh well. Anyway,
I think that was at the end of the episode, actually.
probably.
Teddy's missing.
Oh, yeah, they still can't find him.
Find him anywhere.
I'm worried.
Yeah, me too. He was acting all weird lately.
Yeah, he wasn't his
Ruby saying the
happy,
others are checking
horny,
inside the TV to see
ever
if he's gone back to the
go-lucky
other side.
self.
We're
No,
meeting
this
pretty
is
soon.
this is
So
more or less
maybe
a
come
very
over to
drastic
dinner?
change in his mentality.
Or his persona. I wasn't trying for a pun, but seriously, that's what I got.
Anyway, all we can do now is we shouldn't worry about where Teddy is.
And just look at the facts
Yeah,
and add them up. And it looks like the gang's doing some credible
It's no use,
discussing.
man. We can't find him.
No luck for me either. I didn't sense anything over there. The fog's so dense it might be affecting my reading.
ugh.
I wish I could do better. I'm sorry.
Well, don't worry about it.
Ted, don't tell me he really went back to his world this time. We told him over and over that he could stay here.
Oh, it was his promise to Nanako that binded him, and, well, he honestly thinks Nanako's dead. So, it can't be helped.
Well, it's no use getting worked up. So, yeah.
Let's
Yeah, you're
just
right.
focus on the here and now.
Plays dumb a
And
lot, but he's attached to us deep down.
Yeah, he'll come back on his own accord.
Right?
unless you get the bad
I'm
ending.
worried for Teddy myself, but let's trust in him and await his return. Right now, we must concentrate on the case.
I agree.
It won't be long before Namatame
Besides, we don't
is
have much
transferred
time.
to another location. We
So
must
we
hurry,
gotta come
or
up
we
with
will
a
miss our
plan
only chance
fast
to get
and
his
figure
perspective on
out
this.
what
You know, I've been thinking
what's
about
going
the
through
case
Namatame's
since,
head and
something
why
just
he did
doesn't seem
everything
right.
that he did.
Let's quickly review the facts. Of all the victims, only 2 were killed, Miss Yamano the announcer and Saki-san. From the documents we found in the car, we know Namatame had some sort of dealings with them. After that, there were multiple attempted murders in which we were targeted. It was only when he took Nanako-chan that we caught him in the act, identifying his modus operandi in the process.
I want to hear you put it like that. Sounds
Well,
like the dude's
that's how a
guilty.
normal person would think.
As a result of
Well,
Namatame's
true.
arrest, the police admitted that Mitsuo Kubo was a mere
Well, yeah, they finally admitted their mistake.
Back
Well,
up to
yeah, but at
yesterday.
least they had a
Remember when you
scapegoat
said
to back it
Namatame
up.
didn't have a motive to
And
kill
it was
the
one that
announcer?
was plausible.
That's what's bothering me.
Oh,
Right. Either he's completely nuts, or we're misunderstanding.
I'd say the latter.
You
I
lost.
say so too.
She's trying to say that if Namatame is
'Cause
sane,
Because
remember
there may
what
be facts in the
Naoto
case
said.
we don't know
we
about.
haven't heard anything from Namatame's point of view.
Sane or insane?
Failing
Sounds
to
like a
listen
play
to
I
fail
saw
to
before.
understand are two completely different
When he
things.
talks about saving people, what does that actually mean?
Because that
I
can
don't
be
think there's
interpreted
any
in many
doubt that
different
it includes
ways.
Kidnapping people and throwing them into the TV.
Could he mean
Well, again,
saving
that's
them
one way of
through
thinking it.
he did
People
call
have been
himself
twisted
a
enough to do
savior,
that.
and said that the other side is a
Yeah, I mean,
wonderful
there's a
world.
place where I live called Devil's Road.
So they'll be saved if they die?
And, well,
bunch of crap.
let's just say a bunch
The
of
bastard
religious
should've gone
followers
and
had some
saved
nice
himself.
Kool-Aid and, well,
What do
took
you
a tumble.
think, Senpai?
What I think? No, there's something else.
If you think about it normally, it's gotta be him. But there ain't nothing normal about that world anyways.
And there's
something I've
nothing
been wondering
normal
about
about
for a
this
while.
case.
When we
No,
first
it's
encountered him,
it's
he
had
said,
it's had weird and
"You're the
strange
ones I
written all
saved.
over it.
Don't worry. I'll
Yeah, I
save
mean, I've
this
tried
girl
shoving my
too."
brother into a TV for weeks. It doesn't work.
So, if he
You know, you
saved
do raise a good
people
point,
by
Yukiko.
killing them, did he save us too? Wouldn't he actually have failed to save us?
Yeah.
Oh,
You raise a good point. If he thinks that salvation comes only through death, his words to us make no sense. And another thing, the Namatame who appeared on the Midnight Channel
even though
said
that
he
road
failed
was
to
really
save
more or less a
Nanako-chan.
giant,
Well,
Earth-based
maybe he
slide.
really was trying to save the victims by putting them inside the TV.
Wait, what?
Come on, don't get all quiet like that. You guys know I just say the first dumb thing that pops
Oddly,
into my
that's
head.
that's
That's
how many times have you hit the
Possibility
nail on the
that he
head?
truly intended
Then again,
to save us.
she's underestimated.
But he's still
In
the one
more
who
ways
threw
than
in
one.
Saki-senpai and that announcer, right? Sure, we haven't nailed down his motives, but that doesn't change the fact that he killed them.
Unless
Or what? You think someone else was involved? What makes you think
Well,
so?
I would say that he's not the culprit because he has a perfect alibi for the first two.
And there is something that proves this possibility. The warning letter.
Considering that it said that directly that person would be killed.
Oh yeah. Whatever happened to that thing?
If Namatame's the killer, he must have been the one who wrote it, right?
Let's review them.
Yeah, let's review what the letter said. The first one said, "Don't rescue anymore." And the second one said, "If you don't stop this time, someone close will be put in and killed." Herein lies the problem, though.
Yes, that's right.
Namatame's memo is saving
Isn't that kind of odd?
Yeah,
Would someone who thinks he's saving people by killing them write stuff like "don't rescue" or "kill"?
yeah.
Yeah, and the will be put in and killed part doesn't make sense either. If the killer was writing it, wouldn't it be more like I'll put in and kill?
Hey, could this mean...
It means Namatame didn't write it.
So that means...
There's another player in all this.
Someone else wrote this letter.
The real killer.
But only the killer would write such a letter and deliver it to Dojima-san's house, right?
Yep.
Someone else wrote it. That could only mean...
It's somebody familiar
God.
with the neighborhood.
Since this is such an unusual case, I was absolutely convinced that other than the Kubo incident, there was one culprit.
And yet, we didn't consider the fact
Namatame really was
that
trying to save
Namatame
the
was telling the
victims.
truth. All he wanted to do was to save people.
Everything is exactly the opposite of
Exactly.
what we first seen.
We more or less were
In
going down this
Namatame's
road thinking we
timeline,
had all the answers,
failing would have been the
but we
first two
didn't.
cases when the victims died.
It's a complete
If he had
180.
used his method twice and
The
failed
minute
both
that you
times,
have the
he would
answers,
hardly
I
have
change the
used
questions.
TV. And yet he did. It all seems to suggest that someone else wrote this warning letter while
But
observing
who
the
could have
entire
been
case.
observing the case and delivering the letter
Someone
without
else.
being noticed?
Then
That will not be revealed
was
until
it Namatame
roughly
that killed
part
Saki-senpai and the
99.
announcer?
We can't say for certain yet. We urgently need to speak with Namatame face to face.
You all work together to take another step toward the truth.
Judgment rank you up.
To rank 2.
And this one is even more automatic than the one in 3.
Yeah, considering it actually is, actual progress.
As opposed to 3 just being beating up
Hell
shadows.
no. After what happened yesterday, they said they're gonna
And
tighten
maybe an
security.
event here or two.
Which means
have
we
a plan.
gotta go to the
But
hospital
there's no time
now.
to waste. Let's hurry to the hospital.
Otherwise, we'll never get the true words out of Namatame, and
We'll have hit a dead end again.
trust me, hitting a dead end is no good.
Yeah, it is 209.
This place is off limits.
I'm a consultant with the police. I'd like a few words with Namatame.
You would think that he would have said checked on her.
Must be a newbie.
This is Unit 252, requesting confirmation on an ID.
Definitely a newbie.
Name of Naoto Shirogane. Huh? Ah. Understood.
Yep,
I
he's
see.
definitely a newbie.
Well, you're on the
I
list.
think most of the people
I
that
can
are
give
in
you a
charge
few
of this
minutes,
are
but I'll have to
newbies.
record your conversations
Who
and
could
for
say?
security
We have no
purposes.
idea.
Not that I expect you'll get anything coherent out of the guy. He's been spouting nothing but gibberish.
To a logical thinker, yes.
I'd like him to accompany me as well. He has no identification, but this is an emergency situation, and he's here in Detective Dojima's stead.
Even though it would make more sense with
Detective Dojima sent
Adachi,
him?
but
I wasn't informed. of
whatever
this.
works.
I'll vouch for his identity.
Naoto, just use bullshit.
Well, I guess it's better than dealing with the man himself.
But yeah, why not let the
We have
nephew
our
in?
hands full with the transport procedures, so the last thing we need is Detective Dojima running wild. Detective Adachi's busy.
Oh, that's
somewhere
why they
too.
couldn't talk to Adachi.
This is Unit 252.
He's busy somewhere else.
I see.
Ryotaro Mania will be running wild.
Something about a suspicious.
Oh!
lobby.
Ah, well then, this works out nicely. You should back up your colleagues downstairs. We'll keep watch over Namatame-san. A disturbance in a hospital lobby, after all. It sounds serious.
If anything happens, hit the nurse call button. I'll leave the rest to you.
Understood. Please be careful.
Anyway.
I knew they were undermanned, but I didn't expect it to go this smoothly.
Oh! Using such underhanded tactics, huh?
Wow.
Well, to be fair, they're morons.
There's nothing much inside that suspicious object, so he won't be gone long.
Well, you know what they say, the ends justify the means.
So let's go interview the suspect.
Not interrogate, but just, or let's just ask him some questions.
Okay, get out that Megatama. We're going to break some locks.
Actually, we don't need to.
He breaks them himself.
Namatame-san.
More or less.
There's something we'd
Actually,
like
though,
to
he has
ask
nothing
you.
to hide anymore. It's just, he's in severe mental distress right now.
It's tempting to
So
think that you were the culprit behind this entire
he is now
case.
thinking a lot
And
more
to be
clearly
honest,
than he was the
there are
last
many
2 or
in this
3
town
days, to
who
be
hope
fair.
you are.
Yeah.
But we are here
So-
to learn the truth.
He is
So
mostly
please,
mentally
answer our questions.
sane, just his mind's kind of everywhere and nowhere.
Well, then again, his body is weak, but his mind is sound. As Naruto would say. Anyway. First off, let's ask him about who he threw in first. And the obvious answer is Yukiko.
Huh? Me?
Yeah.
Which means didn't take out the first 2.
Well, did you kill those 2 girls? Just asking.
They were killed. I couldn't save them.
Well, one more question I want to ask. Is saving killing people? And no, it's not.
No. If nobody saves them, they'll be killed.
Then again, you're thinking as if the killer is doing the deed here in our world.
Then tell me if my
Which
estimation
would
is
make
correct so
sense
far.
considering he never
After
actually went
discovering the
into the
Yamano
TV
and
world to
Konishi
discover what it
incidents,
truly was.
You realized
and
an
what the
appearance on
deal
the Midnight Channel
But
meant
he
certain
realized,
death.
to him, he realized what the
Thus,
Midnight
you
Channel
saved
meant.
her from that fate. You kidnapped Yukiko Amagi. You couldn't let her be killed, so you threw her into
And the
TV,
worst thing is,
preventing the
when
killer
the
in this
victims
world from reaching
returned
her.
to our world,
And you repeated the
he
process,
assumed
as more
that they
individuals
simply
appeared on the
were able to
Midnight
leave on their
Channel.
own and return to their normal lives. As if he was
It
successful.
all falls into place. His body is weak, but his mind is sound. He's trying to tell us the truth.
Yeah, but if the stuff he's saying is true...
There's another killer who murdered the first 2 victims?
Yep.
Indulge us in a few more
But
questions.
who could it have been?
Well, let's ask some more questions. Do you know who killed the first 2?
I have no idea. I want to know that too.
And, oh yeah, fun fact, he has the same voice actor as Dojima.
What are you talking about? I didn't know. I never thought it would be that kind of place.
As I thought.
After asking all those questions, he's now...
Yumi?
Yeah.
Did they find him? Did they find the one who did such cruel things?
Easy, Namatame-san.
Mayumi.
Easy.
Seems like
Please
he's
calm down.
quite attached to
Our ability to
Mayumi
find the culprit
nonetheless.
rests on
Well,
you.
then again,
We know about
Bit
the
fair.
other world.
yeah.
In
And
fact,
besides, he
we're
never
the
really
only ones
loved
who
his
can
wife.
fully understand what you have to say.
It was more of a business relationship than anything else.
Only you?
We did blame you for everything at first. But now I think we can accept whatever you got to tell us as truth.
Please, tell us everything you can, calmly and slowly.
Please, just...
You willing to listen? Do my story?
Well, if we weren't, we wouldn't be here, would we?
Well, we were willing to listen to Tia's story in Final Fantasy X. We'll take whatever you have to give us. I doubt it'll be as
All
painful.
right.
Well, actually, I think it will be.
Alright.
It's painful to watch this man's sad spiraling down.
Soon
It's
after
sad
my
to
affair
see him
with
spiraling
Mayumi
down
became
into
common
madness, so to
knowledge,
speak.
I returned to my parents' home, as if to run away from the scandal. And I started drinking heavily to drown my anxieties.
So you went down the Dojima method.
And that didn't
Nah,
help either.
except much more severe.
Mayumi, where are you? She'd been disgraced on all the afternoon shows.
Then again, an affair will do that to you.
Program she was on.
Especially when
It
you're
caused her
that
so
kind
much
of
trouble.
person.
I wanted to at least apologize to her, but I couldn't even do that. I lost the will and energy to do anything. Then, one day, the rumor I heard some time ago came back to me.
The rumor about the Midnight
Since
Channel.
I had nothing better to do, I sat down blankly in front of the TV.
Nayanaka
Watched
television.
my own reflection.
Mayanaka, but whatever. Oh!
And all of a sudden, there was Mayumi. Mayumi? Is that you? The Mayumi inside the TV looked as if she was calling to me for help.
Actually, that's not too much of a stretch.
Mayumi? Mayumi!
And then...
When I reached out unthinkingly to touch her, my arm
Yep.
TV tried to
into
eat
the
me.
TV, as if I had dipped it into a pool of
I
water.
just figured it was the booze.
I was so shocked that I lost my balance and nearly fell face first into
Oh,
the
that
TV.
would have ended well.
Yeah, you know, practically almost suffered the same fate that you did, and almost bonked your head.
Though thankfully the TV that he had was too
I was
small.
so scared.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand what just happened.
So you just
I
wrote off
thought
as a bad
maybe
dream.
I'd gone insane. In the end, I decided to think of it as just a dream.
I can't
and I
really
went back
blame
to
him
the
on
city
that.
The next
I mean,
day after finishing
would you
work.
act kind
The
of...
next afternoon when I got to work.
Yeah.
I
I mean, that
fired on the
late at
spot,
night, you would
as
probably
I
think it
expected.
was a dream.
That wasn't what broke me, though.
Yeah, it was Mayumi's death.
It was Mayumi being found dead. And not just that.
And even worse.
It happened in
At
my
home.
hometown.
Well, yeah.
I was dumbstruck. But later on, I remember the image of Mayumi I'd seen that night. Was it not a dream? Could it really have been an
Well, I
SOS
guess
from
it was
Mayumi?
your interpretation
I
of
hadn't
it.
touched another TV because the first time was so terrifying, but I decided to try it again. And I confirmed that none of it was a dream. So that image, was it something Mayumi showed me, calling for help? That's how I felt.
And eventually, you learned of the Midnight Channel.
Albeit,
I
your
remembered that when Mayumi
your
was
own
alive,
reasoning behind
she
what
was
it
chasing
was
a rumor about
was
some
rather
bizarre
different.
TV program. I
Compared
heard
to
about it
everyone
before,
else, but the thing was, he
I thought it
never
was just an
truly
urban
went
legend.
into the TV world to
Then Mayumi
investigate it.
appeared on it.
Then again, even if he
Later
did,
turned up dead. The more
He
I
couldn't
thought
do
about
anything.
the
he
harder
wouldn't
it
be able to
became
get out.
believe that the two events were
Unless he
unrelated.
happened to go in about the same time that you did.
Soon after that, I came back to Inaba to answer
and,
the
and what's
police's
worse,
questions.
Mayumi was also chasing
Lost
that
my
rumor
job
down as
and
well.
I wanted to know the truth of Mayumi's death for myself. Then,
Though
on
then
another rainy
again,
night,
if he
someone
did
else
go
appeared
in
on the
at
Midnight
a
Channel.
later point
It was a
instead
girl.
of...
She looked like she was calling
Then
for
again,
help, just like Mayumi.
wait, do you really
The
want to go
first
into
thing
that death
came into
trap?
my mind
No.
was, maybe this girl will be the next
Not
to
knowing
die.
that you can get out or not.
And that was Saki-senpai.
Unfortunately, yes.
I'd been following all the news about Mayumi, so I noticed right away that she was the girl who found Mayumi's body. And if my hunch was right, she'd be the next victim. I didn't want her to die the way Mayumi did. So I desperately kept watching. I was consumed with the idea of rescuing her. Then, little by little, her image on the screen came into sharper focus.
It became sharper?
Wow.
How did you find out it was her?
After I came back, my father couldn't bear to see me in such low spirits.
So that's why.
He gave me
That's
a
how
job
you
at the
became a
family
delivery
business.
man.
I met that girl when I delivered a package to the liquor store.
And then you tried to explain the situation to her.
Of course, it didn't end well, because Saki just thought it was the ravings of a lunatic.
As she rightfully did.
After agonizing
Or at least
over it,
anyone would.
I decided to meet her and told her to be careful.
And she just goes on her way. And he just goes after
But
her,
that same night,
still trying to convince her,
on the TV,
but to no avail.
Well,
she looked as if she was being engulfed by some black shape. She was writhing in pain.
odds are that was her probably fighting with her
That's why I
shadow.
warned her.
Probably
Why
so.
won't she pick up the phone?
And being about as successful.
Come on, please.
No, no such fate. Huh. I wonder who he contacted.
The next day,
Well, he was trying to contact
found her
Saki,
dead.
but he had no idea.
I knew she was going to be murdered, but I couldn't save her. I blamed myself, thinking there must have been something
I don't
could
think there
have
was
done.
anything that you could have done. I think
There
the
was no one
position
who
that you were
depended on
in
me.
was far too
Nobody
difficult
at
for you
work,
to actually explain
Not even my
anything.
wife.
And considering
My
that you
Yumi
were
was the
just on
only one who
TV,
accepted me
yeah,
for
that
who I
makes you
was.
far more
But she was murdered.
likely for
The
suspicion
same
of
person killed
actually
another
having
girl.
anyone actually
was-
believe your story.
I was beside myself. I couldn't forgive
It just sounds
myself
like
for
the
doing
crazed
nothing.
rantings of somebody who wants attention.
You really did love Miss Yamano.
Yes, he did. Far more than his wife.
Yes, from the bottom of my heart. Before I was married, my wife made it big in show business. I was happy for her, but it put a strain on our relationship.
I think I can kind of relate.
Yeah, considering your work as an
It
idol.
was around that time when I met Mayumi. She was interviewing our candidate for the next election. She was a big-name announcer, but
Huh.
she only worked with local stations.
And you both
her
were from
attitude
Inaba,
towards
too.
work was similar to mine.
And
We
thus
both
you
came
had a
from Inaba,
common
so
bond.
she was easy to talk to. I knew it was wrong.
You simply gave
but
into
I
your
couldn't help getting
emotions.
intimate with her. She gave meaning to my life.
Well, I can't really
Soon
say that
after
he's
Saki-san
wrong
was
about this,
found
but I
dead,
can't say he's right about
Yet
it
another
either.
girl appeared on TV. That
Again,
was
there's
you.
always that one.
And then he sees a third victim on the Midnight Channel.
She'll be kidnapped next. And murdered. I can't let her end up like Mayumi and that other
So this
girl.
time he's
This
gonna
time,
play a
I'm
more
gonna do
active
something.
role.
And the active
My
role
opponent
being
was a murderer
Kidnapping.
who left no clues to his identity. I thought hard
practically
about
had
what I
nothing to
could do
lose.
protect her from someone like that.
considering he already lost everything. He lost his love, he lost his career,
I'll
he
never
lost
convince
pretty
her.
much
If she gets suspicious
everything
and they arrest
that
me, we'll save her then.
he could ever have in society, more or less.
The girl inside the TV looked as if she was smiling at
This
me.
didn't help matters either.
And that's when it hit me. I apparently had the power to go through the TV screen to the other side. Then, what if I put her into the TV and give her shelter there before the killer gets her?
His logic is not entirely
What are you trying to tell me?
flawed.
That it's safe over
But
there?
even
Is that
so, he got the wrong impression.
it? The girl
Yeah,
inside
but if
the
he tried
TV
hiding
seemed to
her
smile
at his
me
house,
again.
yeah, that would really look
And I
wrong.
thought, no matter what kind of place
So,
it might be, it's
maybe in
better
some
than being
way it's-
slaughtered.
Unfortunately,
Once things calm
Namatame
down, I could
didn't
just
realize he was
let her out again.
leading the victims to the slaughter.
If she's inside the TV, there's no way they can find her.
Well,
It
he was
felt as
kind of
if
right
everything
about
was
that.
starting to come together
But
in my
unfortunately, he
mind.
didn't realize one little
Could
thing.
it be that
No
Mayumi
one could get
gave
out of
me
the
that
TV
power
world on their
to
own.
prevent any more victims from meeting her
The
fate?
only way they can is through a
Was
tele-TV.
it my mission to save
Or a
people?
Teddy TV.
But there was a big problem.
Not only that,
If I explained the situation,
but
to the
he
victims,
would have run the
they
risk
wouldn't
of
understand.
getting
I had already
arrested
tried that
if the
and
victim had
failed
talked.
miserably.
So thus he
See, the
couldn't
only
rely on the
thing I
police
could do was to
whatsoever.
take them away.
He had to take it.
That
He had
was
to take
my
matters
mission.
into his own hands.
I just have to do it. Or so I thought.
Though, his logic wasn't entirely flawed.
But even so,
Please lend me your strength.
So, Since you thought people who appeared on the Midnight Channel would be killed, you kidnapped us in order to save us.
Mission, give me a break. You never stopped and wondered about any of this?
He never questioned anything.
I thought I was the only one who could help them.
Exactly,
I did
he
call the
thought
police,
he was
but
the only
they
one
didn't
who could
believe
do
me.
the saving.
I knew the area well, thanks to my job. I had a large truck, and I could move around without suspicion. I thought my job as a delivery man would be the perfect cover for my mission.
And yet you still refer
thought
to it
no
as
one else
your
could do it.
mission.
But are you telling me that I wasn't saving
Sadly,
them?
no, you were doing the opposite.
If a person is still within the TV world when the fog appears here, they will die. Beginning with Yukiko-san,
Regardless of who
the
pushes
people
them
you
in or
thought
not.
you'd been saving were, in fact, in mortal peril. It was my friends here who really saved us all.
I had a feeling. that
And
was it.
yet you didn't
When I
stop
went
yourself?
after that little girl and entered the TV myself, for the first time, I had some doubts about
It took you
myself.
that long?
You refer to Nanako-chan, correct?
The police were after me, so I had to get away. But I still felt I needed to do everything I could to save that poor little girl.
Instead,
That's why I went in
you
after
put her in the hospital bed. Unintentionally, of course.
But the TV world was completely different than I imagined. Such an abominable, grotesque place.
That's kind of
I
harsh.
knew that the three of you who I saved went back to your normal lives, so... I
And
didn't realize
there's
how
actually
terrible
extra
that world
dialogue to
was.
refer to this because he actually
You
shows up
couldn't
during
even get
the
out of that
concert
place
that
on
they
your
have.
own.
Yep.
I thought I was going insane.
Because he was wondering what was really going
I
on.
probably did.
Yeah.
And you know the rest.
Just kind of an inconsistency
When I
in
came to,
itself.
In,
was
in,
lying
in
in
terms of
hospital
how it
bed.
sounds.
You really were trying to
Because he
save
sounds
people.
radically different when he's giving the extra lines.
But
I
ended
swear,
up
when I
doing
did
just the
play
opposite.
Golden for the first time, that caught me off guard.
Fool. I always wanted to enter the world of politics and become useful to society. But after losing my job and the woman I loved, all I had left was this power. I convinced myself that world was some sort of sanctuary, and I secretly believed myself to be a hero. I never doubted what I saw on TV, and believed everything was as I wanted it to be. I didn't think for
Exactly.
myself
You
at
just
all.
assumed everything
That's why I
was
keep
as you
protecting
wanted it to be.
I'm to blame for all
Well,
of this.
he was using logic.
Well, what's done is done.
I suppose so. But the things I've done are too serious to be brushed aside.
That's
like
true.
that. I have no intentions of running away from my crimes. I'm
Well, at least you're
prepared
willing to
the
face them.
consequences. Kidnapping is already a serious crime. And on top of that, I put all those lives in danger. I'm sorry.
The Midnight Channel and the other world? You can hardly be blamed for failing to understand them properly. We
Exactly.
must apologize to you as well. Had we let our emotions blind us to the truth, we would have piled all the responsibility on you.
But fortunately,
I guess from your point of
fortunately,
view,
they were able
people
to
did
see
stop
past
dying once you
that.
started saving people. The more you did it, the more you really believed you were preventing their deaths.
And thus, he believed he was a savior.
Such
So,
a
yeah.
joke.
So when you think about it, it's
I'm sorry.
kinda our
I'm
fault.
getting a little tired.
Now, if, say,
What are you all
the
crammed
person
in
they
here for?
put in died the first time around,
My apologies. We'll be leaving now.
he would have figured out that he would have
Wait.
been the one that did it. The odds are he would have probably gone
I
cuckoo
beg
for
you,
that too.
Please, find
Unfortunately,
whoever's behind this. You children are
By
the only
saving the
ones who know about
victims,
that world.
we more or less encouraged him to keep going. That's our plan, Namatame-san. We do plan to reveal the truth of what happened.
It's all clear now.
All right.
I never committed any murders.
Noblesse oblige, we
It
shall
was another
continue our
party who threw the
services
first
as
two
your
victims
savior.
into the TV.
More or less. You take another step toward the truth. As such, Judgment Rank 3.
Alrighty.
And tomorrow will be Judgment Rank 4 and 5.
And they will be equally important as well.
Now get out of here!
Jesus
I told
Christ!
you, he's almost ready to be transported.
Well, we didn't touch him or anything. We just talked.
Better not see you rascals here again.
No need. We already have all we need.
We have all that we need.
Now all that we need
is to find the proper
Nana-ko-chan
suspect.
looks like she's in pain.
Yep.
She's fighting for dear life.
Well,
This was the last place we saw Teddy, right? He was so worried about her.
That's right. We still can't find him.
How can he flake out like this when we have to find the real killer?
The police consider the matter closed.
Yep, we are
We'll
on
have to
our
do all
own.
the investigation from here on out.
However, since
Let's
it
meet with
is
Saki-san
a
and Miss
6-month-old
Yamano's
case,
evidence and see if
over
we can turn
more
up
like an
fresh
8-month-old
details.
case,
But it's been over 6 months.
new
Wouldn't it
information is
fail
going to be
to
extremely
close
hard
by
to
now?
come by. Because, quite frankly, everyone's
I
like,
know, but we can't
that
give
matter's
up.
already solved.
We're the only ones who understand
yeah,
what's
screw
really going on.
that. Can we just move on
you
with
never
our
know.
lives? How's this
People might
fog
remember
doing?
some things now
It looks
because they've had so
great.
much time
I
to
want to
think
become one with it.
Let's split up
Yep,
and talk
but of
to
course,
people all over
Yosuke's
town
like,
tomorrow.
because so much
We'll
time
meet
has
in the
passed,
evening
people might
to
remember
discuss
No.
No, Yosuke. You don't understand. To them, it's done. It's over. Game's over!
Unfortunately. You decide to go home early today and get some rest. Prepare for the final investigation.
And if you choose incorrectly,
Bad end!
well, may you continue till your games are over.
Alright then.
Did I just make a Super Paper Mario reference?
Who knows? See you in part 99 for the final investigation of the game!
Let's get that escape diary ready. Oh shit, it's bad end!